Alright, hello everyone. Hopefully you guys can find this feed. I'm doing a separate feed, so when I upload the videos later, you'll be able to find them individually instead of one super long video on the YouTube channel and on the page here. So this is going to be for the sign of Taurus. This reading is in celebration of the YouTube channel that I am starting up, Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings, which every month I will be doing monthly and mid-monthly readings through the zodiac signs. So these signs are good, or these readings are good for those of you with planets in the sign of Taurus. So sun, moon, or rising, also called the ascendant sign in the sign of Taurus. And this is for the witch's year, so this Halloween till next Halloween for the general readings, or the general energies, and also for the next month, especially as we go through this period of Scorpio into Sagittarius. So what do people with the planets in Taurus need to know for this upcoming month and witch's year? Messages for the sign of Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. This upcoming month and through the witch's year. Messages for the sign of Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. There we go. Alright, hello, hello. Let's see what's going on with Taurus. So after the general reading, I will also be pulling for love life and then some things that are meant to be let go of at this time. So your subconscious energy is in the place of Taurus. We have you sitting here. So you might be feeling a little bit more woo-woo than Taurus usually is, because you're sitting in your subconscious a bit. You're feeling a bit more dreamy and romantic, and I can see that here also showing up in the cards. So you might also have in your mind another earth sign who is Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. So coming up, first card down is the Emperor card. So there could be some prominent Aries in your life, or again another Taurus, but really this card is about taking power and control in your life. I see it here with the Nine of Swords and some fear. So you're definitely having some fears about control, about who is kind of running your life at this time, Taurus, who is having the say-so, and this could even go into your commitments with your partnerships and relationships, because I'm seeing here the Knight of Cups and the Lovers. So you're feeling in a very loving space, but you might not know how to get there. You might feel like you are really, loving your partner and wanting to be close, or wanting a loving partner to join into partnership, and yet you have that fear of relinquishing control, or of your life being taken over, or not knowing boundaries when it comes to kind of power struggles with others. And I see a lot of anxiety about this, worries that you don't have control over your life and that you can't have every area of life. So in some areas you might feel like you have success, and yet in other areas it feels like you can't have both, that you can't do both. I definitely see some financial worries here. We have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. This could also be some worries for somebody who is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. And they could be a little bit younger person. So maybe you have a child or someone that you're concerned about, or it could just be you reflecting here in your own reading, Taurus. Again, having worries about being able to control things. We have the Strength card here. So a sense of self that needs to be strengthened, basically, Taurus. You're very resilient, you're very reliable, you're very much able to conquer things and keep an even head in situations where other people don't. So those of you with sun, moon, and rising in Taurus, or if you're cross-watching for a Taurus that you care about, or wanting to know what's going on, they're definitely having some internal struggles, a lot of anxiety. Like seriously, you do need rest, like just actual peaceful rest. Your health could really struggle from that. So if you've been feeling like you have some issues, this could definitely be your health not feeling up to par. Taurus, I know you guys are really stubborn with this, so go in and make sure that you are getting your holistic care, that you're going into your doctor, that you're getting your rest, and that you are letting your mind stop worrying so much, because you have so much worries. And you might even have some like frustration, like this low-key kind of anger and frustration at these people who you feel are dominating your life, or inhibiting you from just being able to make the decisions that you really want for your life. Now on the other side, behind all of that, you really are feeling sensitive. You really are feeling dreamy. I see there could be some romantic feelings from someone for the past, or just a lot of nostalgia, remembering when your marriage was new and fresh and sensitive, or really just wanting your soulmate, wanting a partnership, for those of you who are not yet in your partnership. So I definitely see very beautiful, sweet energy. We'll check in with your love reading and see what's going on there. But beautiful energy here. For those of you looking for a partner, it could be a water sign, so a Pisces, Scorpio, or a Cancer who is here. Pisces and Scorpio very marked. They might have water in their chart, but this is very sweet. This is somebody that you can share your mind with, somebody who believes in you. And so take that nudge when you have, and it could even for some of you be a friend or just a loved one. Even like I do feel young people here, even a child who tries to get you out of your head. Like, come on, like, let's just go do something creative. Let's just go, watch a movie. Or, maybe sometimes they just hug you and say, I love you when there's nothing else to do. And sometimes you might feel frustrated because you're like, I'm serious. Like, I'm worried about the world right now. There's important things. But really, when it comes down to it, they do get to your heart space. That it helps. You need those hugs and those cuddles and those affectionate feelings. You might also be doing this with someone else. So for some of you, this energy will be your partner that's very stressed out, and you wanting to soothe and get into this place. So don't be afraid. I see mostly your mind is like the cards that are blocking going from this place of feeling like you don't have control to going to this place where you feel very loved and nurtured. So allow yourself to put these worries out of your mind. And I do know that it is hard for the sign of Taurus. If you feel that you're not handling responsibilities, it can be hard for you to let your loved ones love you. And so this is an important reminder here to let yourself be nurtured and loved. You are lovable, and people care about you, even if everything is not perfect in your life, even if you don't have everything in control all of the time. But you definitely have the ability to conquer whatever it is that's been getting out of control and whip it back into shape. So keep believing in yourself for that. So we'll go ahead and draw some oracles for the general reading part. For Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the general reading. Whoop, there we go. I think you got 4 of them instead of 3. That's fine. Okay, so I see that the fortune card's coming upside down. You might be feeling down on your luck, and I'm feeling that. It's like it's not happening so easily for you to just, you just want to go to work, you get the money, you do this. So there's some things that are setting back a little bit. There could be, again, a boss or a manager or someone who's kind of being difficult on you. But there's the advice here is it's literally like you're hiding some of your talents, Taurus. You're not always speaking up. This is Night Song, hidden talents, needing to speak up. And then we have the witch who brings her gifts. She makes things happen. She creates out into the universe and shows the power that she has. And then the skull of darkness showing blind spots. So you might be actually in some people's blind spots. And unfortunately that can happen with Taurus, is everyone is so used to relying on you that they might take it for granted. And so, feel free to put your foot down, and I can see that. Definitely put your foot down. If you have been a little bit taken advantage of, or people aren't quite seeing what you're worth, this is the time to speak up, to say, I've been at this company for how many years and I've yet to have a raise, or I would like to work in this, to have the option of the department that I'm working in, or whatever those things are. Kind of talk yourself up a bit, Taurus, and create what you want and know that you deserve it. And don't let yourself be put into anybody's blind spot. Okay, so that is the general reading for Taurus. And now we will go ahead and pull out some love cards, even though you had many love messages in that reading, which is really great. So love messages for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign for the next month and throughout the next witch's year here. Well, there we go. All right. Getting a little bit more in depth for some of you Taurus here. Okay, Knight of Wands. In the subconscious, you could be saying goodbye to some past offers that just didn't work out, or to some people who you knew were just way too casual and not meant to settle down with. Now, some of you, as I definitely feel for some of you, Sun, Moon, and Rising Taurus, we see the relationship and the partnership and what you're really going for. I can see for some of you, though, that's going to be the sacrifice of being too independent with yourself. We have the Death card with the Hermit card, and this here is the Zombie Tarot. the Death card with the Hermit card. And so that can even be within the relationship, that it's time to phase out of pulling away from your partner. So I see the Knight of Swords, which is why there's two dramatic sides to this reading. On the one side, we have such sweet, loving energy and connection and, sharing there. But on the other side, we have the Hermit that wants to pull away and just wants to be comfortable, doesn't feel like really dealing with anything or anybody. Could be a prominent Virgo in your life for some of you. So I think that there's, for some of you, okay, I'll say this, there's definitely, things from the past that need to be let go of. So those of you who are still dating, those of you who are starting the beginnings of a new relationship, it is saying in order for this relationship to thrive, you really have to let go of the past and see that it's a good thing, because these are things that you weren't happy in those past relationships. There wasn't emotional fulfillment there. And so you've been holding on and just kind of waiting and seeing if you want to let go of this person. And now is definitely the time. It's also the time for you guys to come out of being single, for those of you who have been staying single too much. Death with the Hermit. And again, a partnership that really wants to move in quickly. It's funny, the sign of Aries have these same two cards in the same position, but the feeling of wanting to nest with somebody and open up. So for those of you who are dating or who are just coming out of being single and realizing that you want to go ahead and date, there's definitely a really sweet loving partner. It could be a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, who is going to be available here. And for those of you who are in your partnerships, allow your mind to be at rest and in one place so you can really communicate that love that you feel. So we saw that in your general reading, that the stresses of everything else, kind of the real world stuff, kind of makes your mind shut off, and you don't always communicate just how much you're loving those around you, or how much you appreciate how much they're loving on you. So go ahead and allow yourself to have those heart-to-heart meals and connections with those who love you so much around. And go ahead, for those of you, we all have our secret nostalgias or just things that we're working through. That is really what it's going to be time for you to do in your heart space. Those of you with Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, is to let go of this kind of emotional baggage that it wasn't fulfilling for you and you weren't really interested in it long term. So this is thinking definitely much more long term. And it's not saying you can't have alone time in your relationship. Some of you might need a little bit of a pause or a break, but it's like where you can be alone with somebody, still in the same home, still each doing your own thing. And that being okay, and just feeling very comfortable and nurtured in that situation. So we'll go ahead and pull some oracles for the love life of the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising through the next month, in which is here. Okay, do these three here. Okay, we have faith, trust, unwavering, and confidence. So again, there's that feeling of really wanting to be in committed partnerships. I don't feel like you want to do any crazy dating, Taurus. I feel like when you decide to go out and to really date and open up, that you'll very quickly have a serious partner. I feel like partnerships really want to come together in a very beautiful way, and the investment there is very much worth. Okay, sorry, cut out for a minute. So go ahead and trust your commitment to your relationships. You have Maenad, madness, ecstatic ritual, and energy release. So really needing to have that physical contact with your partner, needing to mix it up a little bit, not too much of this worry energy or this hermit energy, really needing to connect, and have these really kind of little wild times and excitement with your partner. Or it might just feel so wild to you to even start dating again, those of you who have been kind of on your own. Supernatural, inexplicable, miraculous, and otherworldly. And I feel like that is going back to your subconscious energy being very romantic at this time. Really, you really want to connect at a soul level to others. And I feel like for some of you, Taurus, that's going to feel a little bit silly. You'll feel like, there's such practical things to focus on, and what matters is the house and work and that. But part of you is like really wanting to just be wild and romantic and have this soul connection, and to really get to that level with your partner, or to rekindle like that feeling like when you were young with your partner, that newness. And I think it's beautiful and very, very achievable for you, Taurus. So this is excellent energy. Go into indulging a little bit, and this is talking about a little bit like of dancing, or just like a little bit luxury foods or something, pampering your partners, connecting again, and letting your spirits really open up to each other so you can connect on that spirit level. All right, so I think that's very beautiful for your reading. So everything looks very good as long as you keep moving towards your partner or your potential partners. You have green lights and a lot of different ways to connect. So now we will see, what does Taurus need to let go of this Halloween season? What does the sign of Taurus need to let go of for Sun, Moon, and Rising Taurus this Halloween season? Okay, that one jumped here. And we have here. Okay, so definitely there could be moving, and there could be some travel that's going on here that needs to be that needs to be thought about or let go of. I also feel like car issues for some of you. So some of you, if you've been investing in a car that is not working, Sun, Moon, Rising Taurus, it is time to let it go and find a new mobile. Sorry, my legs falling asleep down here. Definitely. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, and I see the fear, you know, of course that's fear. It's a lot of investment. It's time to think about, but there's definitely the need for some of you to just go ahead and take that plunge. So start looking into that over the next month, and it should go successful, and I feel like you'll feel a lot safer. Some of you haven't been safe in your vehicles that you've been driving, so go ahead and do that. For some of you, this is a literal move, so change of residence, things of that nature. And again, it's saying to go ahead, like squash that little bit of fear. Kind of, it's like this, the strength card here, right? That those internal fears. I know change is hard for those of you with Taurus because you're so reliable and practical. You really invest in, you know, the places and people and things that you have. But this is saying that if it is time to go ahead and to move on in some way, to allow yourself. Now, some of you guys, this is travel. Some of you guys have travel that has been brought up. Those who want to travel with you, who are like, hey, let's go here, let's go there. And maybe you always put it off and you're like, okay, you know, in the long run, that's a goal, but I don't know if we're going to go to Aruba right now. And so it's getting put off and it's getting put off. And this is saying, you know, get out and about, like travel, experience things. It's really going to help the things that you're releasing from the past, just that old baggage that's coming up that you're just releasing. It's going to help get that off your mind. So a lot of movement, a lot of forward thinking, and not being afraid that if you let go of certain things that have been stagnant in your life, that you'll lose your goal. I think that's an important thing. So don't fear that by, you know, if you need to release a certain person or situation or change something in your life, it doesn't mean that your whole set of goals is going to be thrown off, Taurus. Okay, so that is your messages for this hallowed season in Witches Year, and I thank you so much for watching, and I will go ahead and start another live video after this one for the sign of Gemini.